Hey guys, Jason Nedved with Nedved Precision Shooting. We got Shane Scott here, director, owner, whatever, Pro Series,
yeah.
Best trophies out there.
Match director, wannabe shooter.
You're doing good.
I'm doing better.
Yep. And yeah, I got a lot of your trophies.
So we don't have our trophies.
Oh yeah, they're out there. So yeah, spoiler alert, we did win. So.
Yeah, sorry.
But I don't really care.
Yeah.
But we just shot the 22x
Fallout. It was the Fallout match hosted by Compound 22, which is Wes.
21.
What did I say? 22?
Yeah.
Wes and Chloe Berkeley. I think that's say their last name. Up here in Newcastle, Wyoming. It was a 11-stage, 122 round count match. Stages varying from, 2 minutes was the lowest? Or we had a 90-second. I think 190.
Yep, 190, I think.
And the rest were 2 minutes, I think a couple 230s.
Yep. But a lot of it was 2 minutes, so.
A lot was 2 minutes.
But it kept me questioning because on my watch,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, what do I set this one for? Because it was kind of going back and forth, but.
So the overall results, Jason got first. He got a 1,102.5. I got second with a 982.9.
So percentage-wise, that
huge.
killed you.
Yeah. That was the thing. I knew I wasn't going to win the match, but I was really bummed because we shot St. George last weekend.
Yep.
And I got 10th. And I got a 91%.
Yeah.
And then I got second, and I get an 89%.
Completely two different matches.
Oh my gosh. It was.
For me, though, 3 weekends, 3 matches.
Yeah. You're coming off of
3 weekends, 3 X matches.
3 wins.
And 3 wins.
Yeah.
So perfect.
And how many miles?
A lot of miles.
St. George, Utah, Billings, Montana. First.
Billings. Then it was.
You drove.
Yep. Then it was go back home. Then it was St. George.
Yep.
Flew out to that one.
Yep.
And then drove out to Wyoming.
Definitely didn't destroy your rental car.
Yeah, they're not going to check that anyway. Had to take 10 snips to it.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, 3 back-to-back matches, all firsts.
Yep.
Yeah, and good. I mean, again,
3 different match directors,
Yep.
3 different
states.
styles. Yeah, completely different.
Because Billings was a half-day, half-night.
Yep.
So that was a complete, you had to shoot in the dark. You had daytime courses. Like, our train's a little different. Then you go to St. George where it's day. Lots of the matches were very long. Or, no, sorry, the stages. 2:30, 2:45, 2:30.
Yeah, those are kind of odd, too.
Generous targets.
Yep.
I would say an easier match, but it made it very tight. Everyone was battling out.
Because it was, first I won by 1 point, and then
Paul
Down was the second by 1 point.
Boyd.
And then Boyd was 1 point behind Paul.
1-1-1.
Yep.
Yep. And then, I mean, even like that, our buddy who went with us, Tyson Smith, got 18th. And he got an 88% or 86%.
Yeah.
To be that far down, to get that percent was, again, easier match, but was a blast. That was a fun match.
And we've had that discussion.
Yep. How a match should be.
Yeah, should it be easier? Put in the comments what you guys think. But should a match be easier? Because we all love getting impacts.
Yeah, but it is an X match. It is a national, so it's not a monthly.
My argument is, don't get me wrong, I love getting impacts. It's a lot of fun. But if for some reason you have a bad stage, I have a bad stage, whoever has a bad stage, can you claw your way back to the top?
And that was kind of like NRL Nationals this year. Yeah. There was room to claw your way back.
Yep.
There was people dropping points on stages all day.
But like PRS 22 2 years ago, the guy that won first place, he dropped single digits out of 2 days.
And that's what you're saying. So it was like...
So if I have a bad stage and drop 4...
Go home.
Yeah.
You're done.
You drop 4 in one stage, well then how can I come back from that?
Yeah, me and Jason have talked a lot about this of how, because I'm a match director, and again, you are too, but you're more of a shooter. You do local. I mean, you are a match director, but you're more of a competitor mind. I host way more matches than I shoot.
Yep.
I mean, So for me, I'm trying to find that fine balance when I host matches of I want it hard enough where it's a challenge for you guys. I want you to come to the match and be like, this was a good match, battling for points. But I also don't want the little guy to be obliterated.
Yep.
And I feel like we got a complete polar opposite from all 3 matches that you shot in the last month have been completely different. Billings was hard during the day, fairly easy during the night, but you had a kind of different style of match because it was dark, right? So you had a full half night match. So that was kind of the moderate in between.
But you still had barricades.
Yep.
You still had
yeah,
prone,
yeah.
You still
but
had
I mean, the
modified prone.
difficulty was like half easy, half not. St. George was very easy, but it was a very fun course of fire.
Yep.
Very sturdy props.
Yep.
And then now this, where or now to the Compound 21 Fallout match, where the percentages was dramatically different.
Yeah.
And the course of fire was completely different.
Yeah. And the props were completely different.
Yeah. Very different.
So I will say, if you want to have a fun match,
100%.
this is the one to go to.
Yes. Wes and Chloe do a really good job if you're looking for
They put
fun.
a lot of work into their barricades.
Very creative.
Yes.
Like it is, and this is not a diss on them. They do a very, if they just did, let's say it was every match they did, because most of they do is monthly, this would be probably far the best fun monthly match. Like if you're going new shirt trying to get into this sport and you're just trying to have a really fun time, you're going to have so much fun at their matches.
And there's some stages that it's like, you're going to hit targets.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some other ones that are going to be more difficult.
Yep.
But like props and stuff like that. So
We'll go through
I've
each
shot,
stage.
yeah. But let's face it, I've shot every single weekend except one since Easter.
Yep.
Every weekend I've shot.
Yep.
It is, what matches are going to is trying to get fair across the board.
Yep. And we've talked about this.
And
the small target.
steady props.
Yep.
So that everybody has fair chance. You're not trying to use a tripod.
Yep.
For rear support, trying to make it a gear race or whatever.
Or if you are, let's say, leave it open, like you said, about the tripod. Like, let's say, all right, you leave it open. You can use rear support tripod, but it might slow you down.
Yep.
It might not give you that benefit that you wanted.
Exactly.
So, like, you're right. Like, we talked about this, like, the sport, and this is just our opinion, at least I can say, is the sport, how we want it to change, or how the direction we want it to go, is smaller targets, steady props. Where it's the shooter has to get learn their prop, figure out their prop, get a steady position on the prop, and engage the targets, and then accurately not yank it off. Not something that's like a 1.5 mil wide target and stuff like that. So
what I've been doing at my matches is because, like I said, I've been shooting matches every single weekend or something, except one weekend, I believe, since Easter. And everything is going to steady props.
Yep.
And small targets. So what I do at my matches, because I got new shooters coming that don't even know how to dial their scope.
I was one of those people 3 years ago.
Yeah, and so I got those new guys coming.
I was like, dialing? That's just a whoa.
Yeah,
hold over.
like I had a guy
You're
sighted in their 22s at 100 yards. They're like, so I'll be good anywhere in between.
Yep.
So what I've been doing is a small target that would be challenging for us.
Yep.
And then a large target that at least they'll hopefully get 50%.
So realistically, the low-end shooter should be getting 50%.
So they're still getting impacts, we're getting impacts, but then there's still that separation.
And most of their stages were kind of like that.
Yep.
There was a lot of them where there were small targets, and then there were some big targets.
Yeah, there was those circle ones.
Yep.
Well, yeah, let's get into that.
Okay.
So stage one, zombie survival. We were stage one, squad one.
This is like one of my worst stages of the day.
Impact.
This stage.
Really?
It wasn't hard.
You got him.
I remember the wind. Remember how the first two wind flags were going left to right, and the other ones were...
Oh, yeah.
And
okay,
you all were like, you got screwed. I'm like, I didn't even notice.
You got
I don't know how.
bad.
That made no sense.
So we all went up there, and we were along this fence line, and on the left-hand side, maybe you're watching the video right now of it, but...
50, 150 yards? Because the farthest
Yeah, it was like every 50 yards, they had
flag.
on these fence lines, they had these big poles, and they had caution tape, and you could see the wind, but... The wind was coming this way for the majority of us. And then when you shot, the one at the far target, all the rest were going left to right. But then at the far target, for some reason, it was going right to left. And it was not just a barely
It was
breeze.
moving.
It was...
I didn't notice till after.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second, how is that?
And I'm just right behind him, so I can see his little pill going through the air and just like...
I was so confused.
Yeah.
I did not I was.
Oh, my gosh. It was brutal.
Because I was talking after the match with...
Because we shot up to 228 yards on that. So you're 192 and you're 228. You're just...
Well, I was talking to Mark Kelly after the match about Worlds, and he was talking about how like the wind flags there were so deceiving. There'd be one wind flag like this, one like this, and he's like, you almost just had to like ignore it.
It's like Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And I think honestly, like that was just weird. There was two different wind calls, completely different. I mean, like.
And then you watched the Mirage.
Yeah.
It switched when you were shooting.
And I specifically remember watching my my shots go off left, and I was like, I must have yanked it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's no way. Everything else is left to right. Why am I missing off left now? And then I shot again, and I was off again. So I went to the next target. I'm like, okay. Sent it again, and I'm like, I didn't want to make that correction because I'm like, that can't be right.
Yeah, yep.
And
That's the way it is in Pennsylvania. So anyway, you had to shoot like target 2, then target 1, then target 2, then you had to shoot a pop can. But apparently that pop can in our squad, a couple guys forgot to shoot the pop can.
Yeah.
And then you had to go to position 2 on the other side of the tire and shoot number 4, which was at 228 yards, and then target 3 at 192, and then back to 228, and then come all the way back to the pop can, and then
work your way back out.
Near to far. So I write out my dope card.
This was 230. It's 150 seconds, so it was 230.
And I wrote my dope card 3 times on this one because I wrote T2, T1, T1, T2, and then Z4, then Z3, Z3, Z4, and then the pop can.
didn't even. So
I wrote all that out, and then they're like, well, then you got to shoot near to far. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't have room to put near to far because I'm not going to go fishing for these targets.
Yeah.
So then I rewrote it, and then it still didn't have enough room. So then I rewrote it a 3rd time. It's like, ugh.
I thought of it kind of. I did on accident. So I wrote every single target from near to far. Yeah. So the pop can first, going down.
Yeah.
And then I wrote like below. I wrote like target 2, 1, 1, 2. Pop can, then like I didn't write the dope. I just wrote the order. Mm-hmm. So all I had to follow was that order, then the next order, and then after that it's near to far. So I wrote it in near to far.
Oh, gotcha.
So I just kind of like I already wrote it down. Mm-hmm. So it kind of worked. So I ended up getting a 9 out of 15 on that stage. That really hurt. I hit the pop cans. I hit
but you got
targets 1s and 2s. I did not hit any of the 3s or any of the 4s. I missed every shot on those 4.
Out of 15, I had dropped 1 on that one.
Yeah, that's the only target I missed. Because you shot it 4 times, and then going back out, 5, 6. Yeah, I only missed target 3 and 4. I could not hit them.
Yep,
and it was the wind.
You couldn't connect with those far ones.
And you cleaned it, right?
No, I dropped 1.
1.
Yep.
You know what I did notice?
But then I seen that pill go through the air, so...
Then
I was able to...
You brought up, you said about, like, people forgot to shoot the pop can and stuff. Mm-hmm. I didn't make a single mental mistake. This is like one of the first matches I've done in a long time that I didn't make a single mental error.
I did. I forgot which one though. I'm sure I'll remember when we get to it.
Well, I mean, maybe I'll catch myself after, but I got to the end. I'm like, I'm not upset with any mental. I made mistakes like I couldn't find the wind, but I didn't find. To my knowledge, I did not make any mental errors. I was actually pretty happy at the end of the match. So stage 2, 90 seconds. I don't even know how you say that. Marasaki's Chem Lab.
Sure.
Okay. 90 seconds, 10 rounds. Target.
It says from Fallout.
That's right. The whole theme was Fallout. Yeah.
Is that a game?
I had never played it. Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4. I think it's an old video game. Not old, but older. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I remember hearing about it. So target A1, 55 yards, A2, 93, A3, 72.8, A4, 108.4, and A5, 127.5. This was essentially there was a tank trap, like a...
It was a massive one.
Yeah, it's like 3 tank traps combined and they're all intertwined.
Yep.
So you shoot like, basically it's just it's like the A, so the whole stage is A. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you shoot from the left tip, target 1, top, bottom, right?
Yep.
And then right tip, top, bottom, left tip, top, bottom, right tip, top, bottom, and then... You move to the left tip and engage
that one
twice
because it was just one triangle.
Yeah. So that's right. They're triangles. Yep. So, well, run and gun stage, or not run and gun, but like speed stage.
That was my mental mistake. I remember it now.
What'd you do?
Remember I engaged because it was supposed to be top bottom, but it was small then large.
Oh yes, and you engaged the.
But I engaged large then small.
That's right.
And then I shot the bottom one. One guy said impact. And then I went to move up, and then
that was on the very first shot, yeah.
And then you're like, not an impact. I'm like, shoot. So then I went back to the bottom, and then I missed it.
Yeah.
So those are the only 2 I missed, but yeah, that was my one mental mistake of the day.
What'd you get on that one?
8.
Got a 9.
Out of 10. You got me there.
Well, yeah, I got you on a couple stages, but then the ones I lost you on, I dropped like 6.
I told you.
Like it wasn't 1. It was.
Like I told you though, this match was decided on one stage. And we'll get into why later when we get to it. Not yet.
Okay. I don't think it was decided on that, but...
I think it could have been.
It could have been. Very close. All right, stage 3. Go for it. What do you want?
Gladiator stage. I didn't like this one. It was...
Okay. This was unique. This would so apparently
This is why it would be a fun monthly match.
They said something about this Ed, another match director in the area. He has something similar to this.
Yeah, so he's out of Hot Springs.
Black Hills Oral, I think. Yep. He's part of the Pro Series. Good guy. So he's gonna pull up the video on this. So boom, video. Because it's hard to explain. Well, it's so hard to explain. So essentially, you have these wood logs.
Yep.
That they're what are those? What are those? Are they like steps?
I have no idea.
It almost reminds me of like the old like lumberjack competitions. They like chop their way up a thing. They put like slats in the logs and they're climbing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like little. It's like metal.
But they
sticks.
kept calling them hammers though.
Yeah, maybe they
I
look
don't
like
know what
steps.
kind of hammer.
Looks like if you're climbing up an electrical pole, you drill a hole, you put that in, you climb up the next step.
Sure.
So essentially, yeah, it's only 6 shots. There's a hanging target 55 yards, another hanging target 99 yards. It's a hanging target from a tree. We shot this last time we were here. Remember, same pipe.
Yeah,
It's a bigger pipe this time. I like it a lot better this time than last time.
One, yeah.
Last time it was swinging in the wind before you shot it.
Yep.
This time it did stay. So
it just kept going around and around. But this time it was just kind of wobbly back and forth.
It kind of reminded me of like a snake charmer.
Yep.
I think a little bit better, a little more predictable.
Yep.
And then double hanger. And basically how this worked is you had to set your rifle down, run over, grab the shoes. What do you say? Hammers?
Hammers. They kept calling them hammers.
I'm calling them like steps. Anyways, you pull them out, you run over, you put
out of the log, put them in the other log.
Red and blue. Then you pick up your rifle, shoot 1 shot.
And that had to be primary support. You couldn't put it against the log. Because I asked, can I put my bag on the log and then it braces into that hammer?
Nope.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
It had to be on
it.
So you're just suspended in no man's land.
Yeah, it has to be the primary support. So yeah, you shoot basically. So the first 55-yard target, the hanging target, shoot it once from the red, move to the blue, shoot it once. Pick up your rifle, set it down, run over to the next one, which was a terribly unstable position.
Yeah.
It is a log hanging from 2 metal chains.
Yep.
Super wobbly. And I don't know if it's just because, you're tall and I'm tall-ish, that the height, Devin almost cleaned it.
Yeah.
She's short. I don't know if the center of gravity helped her or what, but we pushed into that thing and it felt like I'm about to fall over.
Well, because it's hanging from these chains, so then it was this motion I pushed into it.
It went like
the first position on the horizontal or the 45-degree angle one, I pushed into that, and that was supported by a chain, I learned.
Yeah.
And that just rolled on me.
Yep.
So you couldn't push into that. And then I get onto the log that's horizontal, and then I push into that. Well, then you got this motion, so you can't do that. And then you also have this motion going this way.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It was rough. Again.
But on that one, unlike the tabletop, which we'll get to, this one you could get steady. You could work your way, take your time, and get steady on this one. So that's why I was okay with this, but
it wasn't a great stage. So the reason why me and Jason have kind of made a point about a couple stages on this match is, again, it's not like it's bad. It's when you're coming from an X match where these points matter for a national invite to championship.
Yep.
You're going for points.
Yep.
It's not a monthly match where you're going to have a good time. I could see the negative of coming to a match like this. Now, their other match we had back in March when we went, it was earlier this year. This is their 3rd since then.
Oh,
so
okay.
whenever it was, because they did one during the WPR finale when we were shooting.
Okay.
So anyways, they had one back in March. I don't think there was really that much gimme stuff. There was one stage I thought was impossible to finish, but there really wasn't gimmicky.
I don't know whether here.
And I think, yeah, you were. You got first.
That was in March?
Mm-hmm. It was the winter one.
Oh, yeah, that was cold.
Yeah. But again, they don't think it had any gimmicky. This match had a couple gimmicky things, and I think, like I said, they went for fun factor.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. It's a good match if you're trying to have fun. But for national where people are battling for points, it kind of had its draw. Or negative. And then, anyway, so you shot off this log, very wobbly, you'll see in the video. And then you move to take them out. You have every time you're done shooting, one shot off red,
you had to run
blue,
off, ground your rifle,
run
run all the way back, grab the hammers, and then do it again.
And then the 2 things in the slat were pretty easy on the far right. But, it's...
I didn't even make it that far.
Yeah, because you were trying
I was trying to use tripod.
Yeah, that's right. So I got a 4 out of 6.
I got 3.
3, which was...
Out of 4 shots, so
50%.
75. So then you got stage 4, Diamond City. You're going from 129, and then you came in, it looks like, to 182, then 55, 71, 158, and 96.
What was this off of?
I don't remember. I'll start signaling you to take... Oh, the truck.
Oh,
this one was fun.
This was cool stage. Yeah.
Okay, so this
it's a steady
one...
truck.
Yeah, from what I remember, it was fun because they had... You had 2 positions off the hood, and you had 3 positions off the bed, what is it, frames?
Frame side of
whatever,
the truck.
and then you had one off the tailgate. And you couldn't go left or right. You had to shoot 1,
like,
2,
boom, boom,
3,
boom, yeah.
4...
It was marked.
5, 6.
Yeah.
And then you had to shoot the corresponding target to
that was
position
a fun stage.
1, target 1. Yeah. It was fun because you had to move back and forth.
Yep.
So we had the discussion.
Sturdy prop,
Yep.
move back and forth.
And then we had the discussion. Do you bipod it? Do you bag it? Just because of the nature of it. Because the hood was high for Devin.
Yep.
Could have been an issue for other people. And then, but on the, obviously the rail of the bed, well, you're just going to bag that.
Yeah.
But then the tailgate,
that had that.
I would have done the same thing you would have, and I did, because you proved that it worked, is bipod it off the bed of the truck, or off the tailgate. Of it. And then, but you're shooting this way, so it was kind of awkward, but
it was
worked.
A cool stage. Like, that.
I enjoyed that one.
Yes, very much.
And it wasn't the basic left to right, right to left. No, they had you hopping around, and then, you know, for some reason I forgot how to count. I think you did too, because you got off the hood, and then I think it was 3 on the hood. And then you're like,
I'm like,
is it 4 next?
5, and I'm
then
like,
Devin goes like, learn how to count. And then I did the same thing. I got off the hood. I'm like, shoot, where do I go?
Yeah,
I think it's 4.
I'm like counting in my head, like, oh no. I actually, the only reason why I knew was I looked at my dial and I'm like,
yep, that's what I did too.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yep.
All right, so stage 5. I got 11 on diamond. What'd you get?
I got 11.
Okay. Stage 5, guard the vault. This one I thought was going to be impossible. We kind of both like, dude, there's no way.
Yeah, you big baby.
I was complaining.
I was complaining a lot.
Okay, when you
and weren't you like first or something like that? Because you were second on the truck or
Yeah.
something, and you were first on this one.
I didn't do great, but I did pretty good. So
you did fine.
Stage 5. So when you read it, 2 minutes, round count 17. There's a mover, 58.7. There's a rack of targets with 4 targets on it at 113.5. And there's army men from 40 yards, 54, 71, 87, and 95. 3 different positions.
Yep. And not close to each other. You had to pass a position to
you
position
got to pass and come back.
And then come back.
So you're shooting, you're a mental stressor, because you have, target orders and all this stuff.
Yep.
You have a mover, so another stressor. You have 3 positions, and then it's 17 rounds.
Yep.
Like, it's just
All
every stressor.
So you have to do a mag change.
Yeah.
No matter what. Even if you're shooting a max 15 rounder.
And honestly, I think that was actually a pretty good stage, even though I bashed it at the beginning. Like, there's no freaking way. This is impossible.
And then you finished it because you had all the meg issues, and then you're stay, and then you grabbed your meg that you ditched, and you're like, all right, just need 1 round out of you.
I had like 30 seconds left. I was like, I when you read it on paper, it sounds impossible.
Oh yeah.
But it was actually.
And then you look at all the targets. It was crazy how many targets there were.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It was.
Because there's 4 on the rack.
Yep.
There's 5 army men, so 9.
And then you had a mover
double
top
hanger.
and bottom.
Yeah.
So you had to shoot off the cinder blocks?
Yeah.
Shoot the mover 4 times top, 4 times bottom. And I'm glad I seen his little Instagram post or whatever it was that they had a mover, because I had all my stuff packed up in the truck and my rifle was at the bottom of it because it's in a hard case. And I'm like, oh, they got a mover. Well, I have one in the backyard. It's already set up. I just need to plug it in.
When was the last time you shot a mover?
Your match.
I didn't have a mover in mine. My Pro Series finale?
Yeah.
Okay, then back in June.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's been a while.
Been a little bit.
Yeah, because I haven't shot a mover in a while either.
So it's been a little bit.
I kept asking him, like, is it 1, 2, 1, 5, 3?
So I'm glad I grabbed my rifle just to get that mental, this is when I need to pull it.
Practice.
So I grabbed all my crap out of the truck, grabbed my rifle, went and shot 30 rounds at it, and then put it all back in the truck.
Must be nice having my own mover.
Yeah, right. So I went and did that, so I'm glad I did that. And then you had the rack, so you had to go around the spool to the tank trap, and any place on the tank trap.
Spool, cinder blocks, tank trap.
And then shoot all barricades, not prone.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had to shoot 4 tanks that were 113 yards away.
Jeep and tanks.
Oh, okay, sorry.
They're Brad from Atlas targets. There is targets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you had to shoot those off a tank trap. And that first target, I don't know why, but it seemed small compared to the other 3.
It did. It was a Jeep.
So, like, I got on it, and I'm like,
oh
take an extra breath.
I was a little nervous.
Yeah, take an extra breath. All right, and then I got it. I'm like, okay, go. Boom, 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 boom.
It was big enough time.
And then you have to go back to the spool, which I kind of thought about bipodding it, but I'm like, I'll just bag it. It's fine. And then I throw my bag on there, and it went, whoo, the whole spool. So I'm like, oh, this is not going to be stable. But 22-pound rifle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So then you go there, and then you had to go.
Did you dial or do you hold over for the Army?
I dialed everything.
Really?
You had 30 seconds left and meg issues.
The Army men were so tall.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I dialed, I think, the last one.
What was it, JJ that did? Or Sam that did holdover?
I think
it was peer pressure.
One of them, yeah. Yeah, Sam.
But I ended up cleaning that one.
I got a 14.
So we were talking about...
These are the 2 stages that hurt me. 1 and 5, I lost, you cleaned it, so that's what, 3 right there. And then the other one I lost 6. That's 9 points on those 2 stages.
And before we even started, I was like, this could make or break because you only have one high score.
Yeah.
It's not like in Grand Junction when my wife and I flew there. That one, every stage was like this. 17 rounds, 15 rounds. So it was more fair. So if you kind of sucked at this one, you could make it up here. It's not like you just got one 17-round stage. Yeah. Well, I can make up 5 points on you right there. Easy.
Well, that's the thing about it. You had a 6-round stage 2 stages before. And then a 17. 11 impacts different. You had to do good on this. Which, again, a 14 still good. But... that what really pulled me away from you. When I did bad on the first stage and bad on this one, I was like, okay, no, I'm not beating Jason. Now it's the battle of how high of a percentage I can get behind you. Still get an 88%. Shit.
The first thing, I was over talking to some other guys, talking from Jeremy from another YouTube, and we were just talking, and then someone said scores are out, so I come over there, and you're like, yeah, I shot 89% or 88% off you. And I'm like, okay, cool.
That was before scores are out. I was doing it on my phone.
Yeah,
you told me yours. And I'm like,
cow.
no matter what, if Jason wins this match, I'm like, you're probably going to win it. And I was like, if he wins, I still get an 88. I'm like, this is
the percentages. That was brutal. But,
So, next stage.
That was a good one, though. Jurassic Wasteland.
There you go.
All right. So, yeah.
You want to start, bud?
Yeah.
You had a good time on this stage.
Yeah. I lost my shit.
Yeah, that was...
So, a match every dang weekend. And I've been fine. Never had any mental issues, nothing. It was been good.
I have never seen you at a match. It wasn't like
so
you got...
unsafe.
Yes. There was a... So...
And you couldn't control it. All right, so it's a floating table. And it's not a table. It is a freaking...
It's a platform. It's a massive platform.
Platform you could park a Mini Cooper on. And
literally.
It's a big platform. And there was no way to steady it. You had to start standing on this thing. And then Jeremy was even saying that there was an older fellow in his squad with bad knees, and he about fell. Yeah,
so that was my complaint I brought to the match director was... We have different opinions on this. So you didn't like... Or you were against the stage, you just on the whole fact that, like, the sway...
And there's nothing you can do about it.
100%. And... I've been to matches now, and it is a more gimmicky stage. People say that, like, moving targets, like, you shoot a mover, you should be able to lead. If you're moving, you should be able to time your shot. I don't really agree that's precision. Like, if you're the moving, like, the whole point of precision shooting to me is to get a steady position. If you're moving 8 mils right, 8 mils left, swinging back and forth, it did steady off later. But that very first shot, close range, it was almost a 16, 17 mil spread left to right.
Yeah, I measured it. I had time. 18 mils. So you're on this flat table, and you have to start standing. Well, then by the time you get down, and then it does this. You're going on the horizontal plane here. And so I'm sitting there, and I can measure it through my scope. It would go off this end, 10 mils, and then come over to 8 over here.
It was moving a lot.
So that's 18 mils, and you can't do anything about it. You can't swing your legs to try to counter it. Because
you have to time
on smaller floating tables I've shot off of, and there's a technique to do with your legs, and I've learned that technique, to swing your legs back and forth to kind of steady it.
The thing was too big, and the fact that you started standing on it.
Yeah, you can't.
That was so his thing was the whole sway. My concern was, even though you started on it standing and the mag wasn't in, the mag was stationed in front of you and you're standing, the fact that you're on a platform like this standing and you have to get down prone, if you put
On
your
a
body
wobbly
weight
surface.
forward and your leg, and you could easily just slam that down.
Yeah.
That was my only safety issue. And he was saying, like, well, it was maybe he thought more of an issue of just leaving your rifle up there and you get on, the rifle falls over. But realistically, if you have a bipod on your rifle and a bag, your gun should never fall over.
No, it shouldn't.
So, but again, really
But
fun.
even safety on shooting.
Yeah, because we've had this argument, like,
Because
technically, if you're really
18
far
mils,
off, if you're really far off a target, I mean, that's almost borderline negligent discharge.
Yeah.
Because you are sending a round so far away from a shot that,
you don't know where it's going. You don't know where it's going.
100%. I mean, again, very fun if it's a monthly course of fire and it's like, hey, we got to shoot off.
Yeah, let's try this.
Yeah.
This should be fun.
100%.
They put a lot of work into that barricade.
And that's where I think they come from. They come from the mentality of like, we were trying to make a really fun match. And it was fun. But they have to understand there is a difference between national level matches and monthly. Because national, like you said, we're battling for points. If I get an 88%,
you're on steady props.
Yep.
And if you're not, you have an opportunity to use a tripod rear to get steady. So
yeah. So,
yeah, that was brutal. I was not happy with that because you're literally yanking shots, hoping it will connect.
And that's what I told you.
And I'm like, in what world do we miss what was it, 1.5 mil target at 42 yards?
Probably a mil target at 42 yards. Yeah.
And we're missing it.
I missed it once, and you missed
too.
it once. Yeah, but I told you, it is better to shoot the stage and argue it after than not shoot it at all.
I just felt it was unsafe.
I know, and I agree. Annie,
all right. So
the next stage, rotate tires.
No.
Oh.
So we're at a 22x match. We have his favorite, the match director's favorite, 22 NRL 22 stages.
So it is an NRL 22 monthly match stage.
Option 2.
Option 2.
Slightly modified on a couple because the ranges
correct.
Work out.
So slightly different. So let's just say...
But it's the course of fire. It's the same course of fire.
Let's just say it's not. Let's say stage 7 through 11, the last 5 stages, were all taken off of inspiration, off of NRL 22. Let's say that's what he did. Because there was tiny little tweaks, very little, maybe yardage, maybe.
Yeah, yardage, that's about it. If that.
That disappointed me. That was my first time. I don't think they've ever done that before at a match. I'm bummed they did that.
I'm glad it was option 2.
At least, but club shoot option 2. Yes, it wasn't. So what they did was rotate your tires. This was
so back. It's not from this month's course of fire.
No, it's from
November?
I don't know. He said the last 5 stages were from the last 24 months that he liked the best.
Yep.
And he wanted to compare something about home clubs versus monthly match. And this bummed me out. I like Wes and Chloe.
It didn't bother me. It was just like...
It bummed me out because when I go to a national match, I don't want to shoot NRL monthly course fire.
Yeah.
And I don't...
But a lot of people disagree with you.
I know.
Because half of the pick is from NRL 22 and not 22X matches.
But the fact that I went to an X match...
So maybe it is a good thing.
But I went to an X match, and someone's already shot this before.
Yeah.
That's an unfair advantage.
But you don't know you're going to shoot that. And it's not like it was all from this month.
True. I still think it's unfair advantage.
But Jeremy and I...
You guys have shot it.
Romeo, yeah. We record this every month.
Yep.
And these were very familiar.
Yep.
So it's like, oh yeah, this is kind of the way I approached it before. But
I'm disappointed.
Devin shot this one first. Okay, so is the tires. So you got the 3 tires, 3 tires. You got 1 tire, 2 tire, and then you got third tire like this, all just strapped together, right? We've seen how lazy I was with that at my house. But what we found out, or Devin found out, because she was first shooter, she goes to put her bag on the bottom tire.
Can't see the targets.
You can't see the targets.
They have a hill.
Yep.
It's like going like this.
So we had to double bag it. Thank God she went first because I don't bring that many bags with me.
Double bag, and she thinks she used a attached bag on top of it. Someone used a pump pillow with a attached bag on top of it. Yeah. Okay.
I don't bring that many bags with me. So thank God she shot it first. And she's like, I can't see the target. And then, we made short jokes, but that wasn't the issue.
No, just you couldn't see over
you
it.
couldn't see over
it doesn't
the hill.
matter how short you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that, but it was, around count 10, 113 yards, 149. You got a 4-inch and a 5-inch. And
you brought up a good point, though. I didn't even think about that. That you're right. That a lot of people are shooting NRL monthly course of fire matches. And I think that's what he meant. Because he was talking about, I want to see the difference between home or clubs, like like, I don't know if he said creative or something. He said like certain style matches and then the normal monthly course fire. He wanted to see the percentage differences. That's why he said he did it. But it's like, I kind of see what you're saying now.
I shot like 100% on those.
Well, I know, we did really good on these. But that's very interesting. I can see that counter argument. That some people are like, well, I want to shoot something that's But again, I don't know. That really bummed me out. They've never done this to a match I've been to.
Because when we go to nationals, the biggest complaint some people have is they come from the NRL22. They don't shoot 22x matches.
So you know my opinion on all this.
We don't have any barricades. We do all this year of practice, and then we don't use any of the barricades. We don't use any of the targets. It's just all completely different. Thrown out the window. And every match director is like, yeah, hate these courses of fire. And we just proved why.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
I got a 9 on this,
yeah, I
and then clean the rest.
I got a 7, a 9, a 9, a 10. I did a 7 on the last one. Did bad. But yeah.
9, 10, 10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
It's just too easy.
Yeah, that disappointed me. They've done such a good job. They have such a cool facility.
Well, and going from let's have fun to, hey.
Now,
Yeah.
They've done such a good job in the past, and like I like Wes and Chloe. That just really bummed me out. It really bummed me out. I know, but for me, like, I really want them to succeed as match directors. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, why, guys? Why? They can do so much of that range. We've shot such cool, like that
over
whole,
the canyon and stuff like that. But it's opening hunting season.
I know.
So they said we couldn't shoot over that way because you got people around there. But that was really cool last time. Then you had angles and shapes. So this was the rooftop one where you had a stack of cinder blocks, then you had 2 tires on the rooftop, and then you had the rooftop.
Easy stage.
Thank God we talked about it before because it says on here the peak of the rooftop, but there was no peak of the rooftop because you couldn't see the targets because there was trees.
So he modified it.
So there was this red bit, so I just bipoded it.
I used your bipod.
What bipod?
I might be getting a nice single pull, maybe double pull.
Yeah.
I've been wanting one forever, and I don't know. I eventually.
Well, I just saved you $200 on your other not purchase, so there you
go. Put that toward what I was gonna spend. Skypods are only what
600.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Only.
Hey, I've had mine for 7 years and absolutely love it. Never had any issues.
My Atlas bipod's great. I love them.
Yep.
But it can't do that. I wish it could just separate the leg a little bit.
Oh, so on the last stage with the tires, he was talking about bipoding it in the tire because we had to have so much height.
Yes, she said that someone did do that at the match.
Oh, good for them.
I wonder if they got a Skypod, put it really narrow.
Yeah.
And tall.
Oh, and they got the height. I don't know.
So I got a 9 on stage 8, stage 8, angles and shapes. That's the one, the rooftop you're talking about.
I cleaned it. That's the one you got 2 targets that were 10 yards apart, but you just find the trees for the markers, you were good to go. Then 9. You had a tank trap. Who was it, JJ or?
Both of them, JJ and Sam. Shooter, do you understand your
classify? So 2 guys in our squad. And he was just like holding his stuff, and we were just chit-chatting. He
was kind of like,
I'm like, oh, you ready? He's like, yeah. And we're like, okay, shooter ready, go. And then
no mag.
You yell out,
mag block.
Do you understand the course of fire? He's like, yeah. Well, you're starting on the wrong tip.
Well, he had so many issues. He didn't have a mag loaded.
Yep.
He started.
He took his mag block out this time.
But didn't have a mag in. He starts on the wrong thing, then moves to another wrong position, then shoots the wrong target. He's just like, what do you say? He goes, I deserve this.
And you're like, do you want to start over? I'm like, I don't care. And he's like, I deserve every bit of this. And then he missed or something like that and went to the wrong position. He's like, I deserve this so bad.
And then the best part is JJ's laughing. And JJ almost does the same exact thing.
Oh gosh, it was great.
God.
And I'm like, I didn't see it. And he's like, and we all heard it. But I'm like, God, I swear I didn't see it. And I'm like, just give it to him. He's like, no, I engaged it backwards.
Backwards,
I'm like, well, at least you're honest, man.
Yep.
But yeah, this was where you had to go right tip, center, left tip, center, and then middle tip. And he went left, and then he went back to the right, and then he went to the left instead of the center, and then, oh gosh, he was everywhere. But it was like 175 yards, 6-inch target. You get your win figured out. Oh, yeah. And easy. I'm glad those guys were asking questions, though. You know that.
JJ and Sam.
They're like, awesome. What do you mean by when you said this?
And they've shot for a very long time. Yeah. And that's why, like, when we hopped in their squad, I was talking to them like, you'll learn a lot. Yeah. Like it's that's why I love like down in St. George. I had Shane and Tyson come down with me and hop in the squad with you, Paul Dallin, and Camden Powers. Like 3 phenomenal shooters. And they said they learned so much of that match just watching you guys.
Yep.
And that's how I got so much. I mean, I went from a mediocre shooter to a decent shooter
a lot getting in
just from watching.
squad.
Like, what are you doing? Huh? And then your weird positions when JJ's like, I can't.
I heard him grunt behind me.
He made the
That was on this next one. It was like
so then you
got the pyramid tripod thing that I still haven't built. It's super stable though.
It is. It's a good prop,
but it's just
the zigzag ziggurat.
Yeah.
And it's a 10 position.
So you just go up one and go down the other.
I heard Wes saying like, "Oh, Shane's gonna like this because I love my monstercade, my 10 position monstercade that we do in Billings."
Yep.
And I'm like, I heard him back like, "Oh, Shane's really gonna like that 10 one." I cleaned it, did good. I think I did it in
91. I think.
91 So, but it was funny. You do this weird position like.
Yeah, I just like frog down or something like that they call it or something. I don't know.
JJ went to copy you, and he goes down, and you just hear.
We had a big lunch.
Oh, he was like, I can't do it. And JJ's big. He's like tall, like 6'5", 6'4".
Even when I did it, he was like, oh.
I cleaned it. That was it. Pretty much. I think we all cleaned it.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Devin timed out on the last shot. Or no, someone else
got
did.
it off. She got the last shot off impact and then ran out of time.
I think Sam. No, it was JJ because I was like, oh, you better hurry up.
And he ran.
And he's like, and you are all like, oh, do you not know JJ? And then he timed out.
Yeah. On the very last one because it was like 30 seconds. He gets a shot off. He has 2 more left.
Yep.
He gets next position. He's like 10. He's like, oh!
And then he gets down and he's like, oh, no, that ain't gonna work, guys.
And then the last one, I went twice. I went back to back first on stage 10 and 11.
You were just so excited.
I forgot I just went first.
And I was joking around, but then I was like, oh wait, maybe you did go
I'm like,
first
oh
twice.
wait, I literally shot it. I'm like, oh, I just did go first twice. It was a pretty easy target. I'm just bad at KYLs.
So you had a 60-yard KYL and then a 120-yard 3-inch, and it was tough because it was 2 tenths of wind. I found out, because everybody before me, they were struggling.
No, I did. Yeah, I couldn't hit them. I hit the middle one once. There was 3 on the KYL. I could hit the half-inch, and I hit it once, and I couldn't hit it again. And then the 1/4 inch, I didn't hit the single time.
Yeah.
And now looking back on it, it was 2 tenths. I nicked that one, and I should have made the correction.
Thank God I nicked my first one, and I seen where that nick was.
See, I didn't see. I nicked it, and I didn't know. I thought, I'm like, because I was holding left, like just off the target left, and I'm like, I wonder if I nicked, like, off the left. I'm like, so I went on center, missed, and then missed again. I should have made the opposite correction. Yep. I should have stuck with what I originally thought, 2 tenths, but I second guessed myself. I got a 7.
And you had no dialing, no parallax, or you can move parallax and magnification. But yeah, it was 60, 120 yards, so it was a 2.3 holdover. It was fine.
So we talked about this in the car ride back from St. George. So the Billings match, I didn't do it in the video or breakdown about that one.
Okay.
The next one went to St. George, and all the guys in our car gave it about an 8.5 to 9 out of, like, overall match.
Okay.
What would you give this match?
I didn't enjoy it.
So what do you rate it?
I don't know. I'm not good at rating, but I didn't
like,
enjoy
if you
it.
0 to 10, how many Jason smiles out of 10?
I don't know. Probably
I would give it a solid, like,
4
6.
or 5.
I'd give it like a 6-8.
I'd do a 4 or 5 because we're using NRL Course to Fire. And then those 2 props that were just so unsteady. And then one I felt was silly, unsafe.
If he threw out the platform stage,
if he threw out the platform, I'd rate it a little bit higher because like the NRL, it doesn't really bother me, but it is just kind of like, oh, we've been here, done.
You know what makes it worse is the fact that it was told as an NRL. If he never said anything, I would have had a different opinion on it because I don't shoot
like. What do you mean? Oh, if he didn't say it was NRL, oh, gotcha.
Because I've never shot it. So in my mind, the only thing those stages were decent stages, but it reminded me a lot of Nationals, kind of how Nationals designed, like static target or 1 target, 2 target type of thing.
Yep.
And decent props. But the fact that it literally says NRL Monthly Course Fire on it or whatever, that just, it was like, I travel to these matches, I'm not so I run the Pro Series. I'm not an anti-NRL person at all. I shoot NRLX, I shoot Nationals, I have a blast. I just don't.
You host them too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hosted NRLX this year.
Yep.
I have no problem with the NRL at all. I'm just not a fan of the NRL Monthly Course Fire. It's good. I see the purpose in it. I totally understand it's great for new clubs, new shooters.
Yep.
I 100% understand it.
Yep.
Not talking shit about it. It's just not what I prefer.
Yep.
To go to an X match and half the stages are NRL Monthly Course Fire is like a ooh.
travel all this way to shoot that. At least it was option 2.
I know.
I would have been really bummed if it was option 1 because all in South Dakota, that's everybody shoots option 1. There is no option 2 unless Oral's doing it. But I've never been to his match.
So if you want to go to a really fun match, it was fun.
Yep.
If you're trying to battle out for NRLX points,
if you're going for points or going for
it's rough.
If you're going for an experience for national matches, because I shot
I'm going for qualification
championship and the NRL championship, and it's all about it's a solid position in small targets. It's about building your position and getting that win call.
Well, think about
this was not that.
Think about when the NRL and the NRLX first started and PRS stuff, like we were pushing shots past 300 plus, 350, 4. You know, the NRL match we went to earlier this year in March, they had a 400-yard target.
Yep.
The sport is rapidly changing.
Yeah, you can't.
The farthest target was 2-something. Like, that's good.
Yeah, that's
I don't
good,
think you should go much farther.
We can see that.
Correct.
We can see it. We're not relying on a hit indicator, and we're not relying on sound.
They did a lot of things right, but the things they did wrong really...
It was massive.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, yeah, okay.
Like, okay, if you throw out all the NRL course of fire and you throw out the platform, solid 8-9.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I like the high round count.
High round count.
I like the barricades.
Even the weird
puts hard work into his barricades. Absolutely love that.
Even the weird 6-1 where you got to move all the things.
Yep.
As much as it was like hard to get position on it.
Yep.
If that was the only gimmicky stage, I still would have been okay with it. I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yep.
It's the fact that it's like we had a gimmicky stage. Still good. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't great. Then you go to okay stage or good stage, and then a stage that pissed us off, you know, or pissed you off, and then I just felt like it was extremely unsafe. And then as soon as you're done with that, you go into NRL course of fire.
Yep.
I was like,
I'm just glad we had a fun squad.
It was a fun squad. It was a good day. It was a cool day.
My abs hurt. We were laughing so hard.
JJ and that's why when I moved, JJ and Sam's great.
So fun.
JJ and Sam's a really good time. They're really cool guys. It was a really fun squad, and we finished really early, so it was kind of. We only had 5 people.
What, we hung out for like an hour?
Oh, yeah. Everyone had like 2 squads left. But to be fair, everyone else had like 8 people. They messed up and didn't put an extra person in ours, so we had way less
Or
people.
like Chloe said, she would have broke up a couple of them and just made a whole new squad because we had open stages.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
so
it was a good match. Yeah, we talked shit, but we talked shit because hopefully
it's constructive.
Yep.
I never like.
It's not like we're just talking shit and like
Wes and Chloe,
you
the
do
worst
what you
people
want,
ever.
but
It's
whatever.
like no,
we have constructive criticism,
Yeah.
and I would do this type
and
of
it's
deal.
our opinions too.
Yep.
If maybe we're not their audience.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yep.
Like you know, you travel all over. You see the different styles.
Oh yeah,
Utah has that high round count. A lot of them have the
Colorado,
1 bag rule.
Grand Junction, they got really high counts.
You come up to like Minnesota, mental stressors.
Yep.
Montana up here, or in Montana, we kind of do a diverse. Like we have some movement, but we also have lots of different targets, lots of different directions of fire. I mean, what the championship match had? You shot east, north, west.
I like stages like that, going hard pan because then it's different wind.
Oh yeah, so you have to have a different.
It's not just your box range type.
So
of deal.
everywhere's different. I mean, again, I haven't. North Carolina was low times because it's nationals, obviously.
90 seconds.
Super sturdy barricades.
Yep.
Wasn't too difficult. Like the match was very just straightforward.
Yep.
So everywhere you go, and I guess I haven't been up north Pennsylvania. You've been up there.
But Pennsylvania. That one, I mentioned it in a different video of that. That one was the most mental trickery. Even the match director said, just read the match book and you'll get it.
Okay.
But it was go from here to there to back to this one to that to this, off of this barricade, off of that barricade. It was crazy. Like I said in the other video, if you guys want me to read that match book, comment in the below because I will just do
Just read it.
Just read the stages and just talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it was so mentally challenging of where you had to shoot, when you had to shoot, and what you had to shoot
And that's the cool part about the sport.
I liked that.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, all right, you're going off here, bam, 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 you're done.
Like a standard troop line.
Yep.
Yeah, that's, and again, like, every area is different. It's really cool to see different styles.
Yep.
And if this is the style here, that's their style.
I wish they had that. I wish we had that style back here and not at that range because I just really just like that range.
Which range?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, she's
PA.
totally. Yeah.
80-foot trees on either side. When the wind's coming here, but then your wind flag's doing this, and then the Mirage is just doing...
You Flatlanders with just tornado cycling
Yeah,
on.
like, just let's go.
20-mile-an-hour winds in a circle.
Today, guess what? The wind was left to right, except on one stage.
Hold on.
The first stage. All right, it was left to right,
Yeah.
and it was anywhere between 4 to 6 mile per hour. 3 to 6 mile per hour.
Yeah, it was pretty consistent. We got lucky, though.
Yes, they've had much more wind out here, but it was a left to right. You had some trees that made it variable.
Yep.
Because it's not like I was running, we felt 6 mile per hour, but I wasn't shooting 6 mile per hour because you were in the trees are blocking and stuff like that. But guess what? It's still left to right.
Yep.
So, it's just different. You get different stuff from different match directors in different areas because it's still, like in South Dakota, all of our match directors kind of do the same basic things.
Yep.
But
they're in a bubble.
Yeah.
There's Ed. Ed's around here. And they've traveled to like the Pro Series matches. They've traveled some stuff.
But you got a lot of them, they don't travel like I do.
But on top of that, too.
Not that I expect everybody to travel like I do.
But they're also very new. I mean, they're...
A couple years old.
Yeah, a year.
But when you only start...
This is their second full year.
But when you're only...
You
only do this.
And honestly, my matches were shit until I traveled.
Yeah.
And then I started to pick... I like this from Ruth and Justin's match.
Yep.
I like this from Paul Dallon's style. I like this here. And and then you go to one of my matches too, you'll see like one stage that is very Minnesota, one stage that's very Utah, one stage is very South Dakota. Like, I like to do like a variety of stuff in there. Because it's like, there isn't a standard blank rule book right now of this is how every match should be ran. There is the creativity of open to everyone.
Do what you feel.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like pick and choosing. But I'm a big advocate and a big believer of if you make a match and it's bad, there shouldn't be punishment, like, oh, you can't host a match anymore. The shooters will tell you. They'll stop coming.
Yeah, there's a match in South Dakota that it just doesn't happen anymore.
Yep. And that's what happens. And I give every match director 2 back-to-back chances. I've been to a match before. It was terrible the first time. The next time they fixed their issues. The next time they had some issues again. I'll give them another chance. If it's a back-to-back 2, and these are national matches. If it's a back-to-back failure 2 years in a row or 2 matches in a row, I'm until I hear good stuff, I'm done. But you know what? There's a lot of people who made good corrections. I heard in the Pocatello, Idaho match, like the first year, they had a rough match. Last year, everyone said it was perfect.
Wasn't that something with the Badlands too?
The Badlands Brawl a couple of years ago had an issue. Last year was
they
great.
Worked hard. And
last year, the Badlands Brawl I thought it was perfect.
Yep.
And this year, I think it tapered again.
And
he kind of reverted back to what he changed and what made it so good last year. And, if that's, good. I like that match. I like the match director. But there's people I know who won't go back to me with that match because they're like, well, I went there when it was bad. I'm like, but it was good another time.
Yep.
If you get people who get burnt once and they're done. And, but that's the sport. It's hard.
There's been a lot of matches that I'm not going back, and then I end up going back.
But you do this for work, too.
Yeah, right.
You're sponsored shooter, you kind of have a...
Well, it's not that. It's not like they're forcing me to go, but it's just
you're going to...
Oh, I need the points, you know? So,
well, now you have 3 perfect scores, so you can basically retire.
Yeah,
until
3
nationals.
weekends and...
Literally, you got your perfect season in 3 weekends.
Yep.
You're done.
Yeah. A lot of miles, though. A lot of miles. I'm beat, I'm not going to lie.
Now you're getting into racing sims.
Yeah, next weekend. I'm taking next weekend off and watching the Vegas race. And,
we got Formula One and we got racing sims winter. Let's go.
Oh, gosh.
It's going to be a relaxation.
Yeah, something like that.
But the match was good. They do very unique trophies here.
They make them.
They make them themselves. It is really cool. It's a 3D resin trophy.
Mine's gold, though.
Well, last time you got like the blue and I got like a red. And I'm like, what? At least this year they made them
there you go.
Pretty close. So, yeah, this is the second match we've done.
They even put Compound 21.
Yeah, which is you can't really see it. Inside they have their logo.
In the sun you can see it. That's pretty cool.
It is different. It is pretty cool. But this is the second match we've gone to here. We didn't go to the last one because we were both shooting a center fire match.
Okay.
We went to March. You got first. I got second.
Yep.
Devin got second, lady.
Yep.
We come back. You get first. I get second. Devin get second, lady. Like identical again.
Yep.
So Devin, she wants to get. I told her she wants to be on the podcast. I'm like, gotta get a win. She's like, what? I'm like, get a win, you be on the podcast. Because I'll make it just about her.
Yep.
She does it. So she's pushing for a win. But yeah, it was a fun day. We have a team hunter tomorrow now.
Yep.
Your partner backed out. My partner backed out. So now we're partners.
Hey! And I'm using my wife's rifle, so.
And I'm using mine.
Oh, you are too.
It's way lighter than my 24-pound rifle.
So hopefully I'll be some good footage. Look out for that. I'm gonna have a GoPro on my head. I just bought my mount for my head. And
Are you wearing it the whole time?
I think so. I'm gonna try.
You should get the chest rig.
But then I'm like, well, if I'm up on my rifle and stuff
point,
like that, because think, we just practiced.
Yeah.
And I'm like this, it ain't gonna
that's
work.
true.
And then we convinced Devin.
Shoulder mount?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
And then we convinced Devin to run around with my other camera.
Yep.
So,
She's gonna follow
and then
us.
we're both gonna be mic'd up.
Yep.
So hopefully you guys will be able to hear the whole conversations. And
We need to make sure that everything's charged up and we have enough memory
Yep.
to just record the whole thing.
Yeah. So that'll be good.
It should be good.
But be on the lookout for that.
We tested that out. I think it's gonna work pretty good.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'll have my Kestrel as backup, but our data are pretty dang close.
Oh, yeah, because I'm running the Impact.
You're on the Impact. You're gonna need
The
to
Impact
give it.
4000, the Vortex Impact 4000. I put that on top of my wife's rifle, and
It's legit. I'm actually.
we were just, we just sat up for this.
After the match was done and we started shooting?
I'd just pick out a target, I'd range it, and I would tell him the dope, and then
Dead on.
I would shoot, he would shoot, ding ding, okay, and then I'd just go find another target, range that, ding ding, and it was. It's not like we were shooting all at 110 yards. No, it was a vast change in elevation.
So I just realized.
What?
If it's like how I did my Team Hunter, where maybe shooter 2 might go first, how are you going to use your rifle to range it?
Well, you might have to range yourself.
That's what I'm saying. So
Just
like,
use my binos.
Well, I get that, but I mean,
I give you your dope in the binos too.
Okay, but it's the same as the okay. So I was like, because I was kind of.
Yeah, because you got your little range.
I know. I don't have like a nice fancy range finding binos like you.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll be fine.
It should be a fun one. It's going to be a timed hunter. I don't know who started the format. I kind of did it, and I don't know who we copied, but it's a.
They said they came to yours and they really like that, and that's. What
It's an interesting format of team hunters. So instead of having like the NRL, where like we come to a stage, we shoot the stage, all right, we're done.
Wander off to the next one.
It's you get tea time starts. So at 9 o'clock we have to be there.
Yep.
The next squad has to be there at like 8 or 9:30.
9:15.
9:15. They start at 9:30.
You got 15 minutes, boy.
I'm fat. You think I'm running?
Let's go.
We ain't running. But
So
yeah,
hopefully they have the same rule you had, and
Yeah.
I can just leave your ass.
and then get the briefing with you and Kenny.
Yeah, get the brief, and then you finally get there. It's like, all right.
I get there
you guys shoot
huffing and
these
puffing.
targets.
You're like, where am I shooting, Jason?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Devin will beat me. You and Devin will be down the
Yeah.
trail. I'm like,
But these mics still have like a 200-meter range, so
I'm
we'll
just gonna
be
be
fine.
talking crap. She's so damn fast. God, he's always running.
God.
So
I can't even see him right now.
I need to stop for a water break. Twinkie.
Yeah.
So it should be fun. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna do good. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Are they doing trophies?
Yeah, apparently they're really cool.
I haven't even paid. I need to go in.
I think Michael paid for you.
Did he?
Well, he had to sign in, so.
I'll send Michael money then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Good match, bud.
Yeah. Nice win.